Hi, welcome to this week's Dragonblade Authors Unplugged. I'm so excited. I've got Tanya Wilde, Sandra Sookoo, and Mihwa Lee with us here today. Ladies, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah. So
Happy
we're
to
going to
be here.
consistently keep having big releases at Dragonblade for the for the next several months. So I'm excited that you will never run out of anything to read, and you will never run out of your favorite trope or your favorite heat level or your favorite subgenre. We've got lots of stuff for everything, and that is true for this week as well too. We had 5 releases, and we're going to start with a brand new series that lets me say a bad word on camera. I'm so excited. The Bastards of Brighton. It's Tanya's series, and book 1 is Her Beast in Brighton. Can you tell us about this one and also about the series?
Yes, so The Bastards of Brighton is a 7-book series and follows the illegitimate sons of the Duke of Crane, who was abandoned by their families, and they kind of found each other and formed a brotherhood.
Nice.
Yes, and they're all big, bad, and broody. My favorite kind of hero. So, Her Beast in Brighton follows Maxon and Calliope's story, and it's sort of a Cinderella retelling, but only we have a Prince of Shadows.
Oh,
We're kind of
fun.
playing with, yes.
Mhm.
And Calliope, she ran away from home. She ran away from her wicked stepmother and wicked stepsisters and opened a candle shop in the lanes of Brighton, hoping to kind of hide away from them because they do not like her stepmother does not like seaside kind of towns.
Mhm.
And she witnesses something going down at like past midnight when she was on her way to pick up a package that that she shouldn't have had picked up that late.
Or been out
And
past midnight.
yes. And everything that happens past midnight is not good, usually in the streets. So she witnesses what she thinks is a crime, which is probably a crime, and runs away and loses a slipper. And this was Maxon and his brothers dealing with some stuff, and they say chase. But they find the slipper, but she slips through their fingers. So he's now on the hunt for a girl or woman, and his suspicion lands on his new tenant, who is Calliope, and also a tenant that his brother rented his property behind his back to. So
Mhm.
the cat and mouse games begin, between them kind of begin. She has her own secrets, and obviously her villain is her stepmother, and then he's got his uncle moving in the shadows as well
Oh my.
against them. So yeah, that's about it. All I
Oh,
can give away.
yeah, it sounds great. I love the fairy tale kind of angle of it, and I love the found family. I think like when
Mm,
you can bring unrelated or quasi related people together and create a family out of them. I think that's always so much fun to spend time in that world. And I'm
yes.
assuming we get all the brothers now as stories.
Yes. Yes. And it seems to be there's going to be some spin-offs maybe. We'll see.
Well,
I'm
other
kind of
characters
enjoying.
talking. So. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Well, the next book that came out this week is Sandra's book, and I apologize for the dubbing. I'm going to purposefully not wave my hands around. I can't figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, you're on a serious
Yeah,
delay.
I look, Mimo was right. I look like a bad movie.
And it wasn't bad.
That's true. I interjected that part too. So.
I mean, it's always bad when it's dubbed, but I never said it.
That's right. That was all me. That was not me at all. So that was all me. But the next book that came out this week is Sandra's book, and it's The Poetry Affair, and it is book 3. I can't believe it's book 3 already in the
I
Dashing
know.
Rogues and Ruined Librarians. I was
This
surprised when
series has
this
just
came out.
gone past so fast.
Yeah.
And I think I've missed being on camera for the first 2 because of issues.
Mm.
Um, And then this morning I woke up and I told my husband, like, look, I'm doing this camera work at noon, so don't call me. So he's been texting me instead. you know, hey, what'd you put in my lunch? I don't know. Why don't you open your lunchbox and see?
Jeez, it's like we're all married to the same guy. Every man
So
seems
anyway,
to
I
be.
told him, I said, I have to talk about this book, and I don't remember what it's about because it's been a while since I wrote it. So I look up the blurb real quick before I came on. Okay, anyway. So the Dashing, what is it?
Dashing Rose and Ruined Librarians. I want stars if I know your title better than you do.
Seriously, man, it's hard sometimes. This particular series revolves around books, libraries, books, poetry, all of that stuff. That's what pulls everybody together. But in this particular book, we're dealing with like brother's best friend, best friend's sister. However, the sister in this case is older than the hero. It's a what do you call it? Older woman, younger man romance. So she's out of a bad marriage. Her husband died, thanks be to God. He was a really big scoundrel. And of course our hero is a rake, and he's like, I'm not getting married. I'm not doing that, because he secretly had a crush for the heroine back in the day, but because his best friend was adamantly against him, courting the sister, that's always been like a forbidden love, but of course they get around that and sneak around and, start this cozy little relationship. And so what was interesting about this particular book was I think it revolves around poetry. I can't tell you how because like I said, I don't remember writing the book. It's been a while. But we'll all be surprised when you read the book, right? What was interesting about this, I had to write poetry as my hero,
goodness.
to have him win the heart of this woman. And I'm like, I'm a writer. I'm not a poet. This is really hard stuff for me.
You had to woo women with poetry. Lordy.
So I'm like, okay, and so I'm reading poetry and looking it up and like how to write poetry, the whole bit, I mean, I will say some of my Dragonblade books have really stretched me as a person because I've had to write poetry. I've had to write scavenger hunt clues. I've had to, do all this extra stuff that I am not familiar at all with, So anyway, she's older. He's younger. He still carries a torch, kind of, sort of. I'm not going to admit to it, the whole bit. And when the brother finally finds out that, his best friend wants to marry this woman, they have this knockdown, drag out fight. It's this whole thing. And while I was writing this book, I realized, I've only planned for 4 books in the series. And now I've got this brother who thinks he's like, better than everybody else. So I'm like, hey man, you know what? I'm gonna ask and see if we can get you to have a book too, because what I really want to happen in that book is for him to get the same kind of crap that he gave to this hero. So
yeah, and he needs a heroine that knocks him down to size a little bit.
Yeah. So all of that to say is I did get information that the series will be extended, but I haven't got the official paperwork yet. So
fantastic.
Yay.
More Ruined Librarians and more Dashing Rose. That's
yeah. And who can't turn down, sexy times in a library? I mean, come on. That was actually the basis for this series because I've always wanted to write books with that happening. I'm like, because that's a fantasy of every reader that's ever read a book, right?
Best Bridgerton scene of the whole entire series was season 1 on the ladder in the library.
I have never read those books or watched the thing, so I don't know.
You gotta just scroll just to get to the library. So,
so that's what's happening in
anybody
this
else
book.
around. It's like. Oh well, that sounds like huge fun, and I'm glad we get more of them.
Yeah, me too. It's actually been a really fun time writing this series, and yay.
Fantastic. So we have 2 Dragonblade books that came out this week. One of them, they both come out on Wednesday. One of them is Susan Bellamy's book, and it's The Lion Spy. The Lion Spy, not The Lion's Spy, for those of us who kept putting an apostrophe S on it. It's The Lion Spy by Susan Bellamy, and we'll catch up with her on another time. We had a time zone challenge this week, so we'll catch up with her when it's not in the middle of the night for her. And the other Lion's Den book that came out is The Lion's Proxy Duke, and that's Mihwa's book. Can you tell us about that one?
I'll try. Like Sandra, I think I finished writing it 9 months ago.
I know, right? And then it's
Yeah.
like, you want us to talk about our books? What's that about?
Yeah, and I've written a few since then. I mean, I started a few since then, so I had to look at the reviews to get a clue as to what it was about. You know, I sort of knew the big picture, and then somebody said, "Oh, she has a really unique library scene." So I thought, what's so unique about it? So I had to go back and read it, and even as I was reading it, I couldn't remember what I wrote. So when I finally got to the end of the scene, I remembered that the lady, so they're in this old estate and they're there to fix this property. And of course, you know, all the furniture, everything was stolen except for this one decent couch in the library because it was too big for people to carry out. So, you know, they're spooning. And then she has a dream and she comes, you know, while she's asleep without being touched. And he's awake going, you know, what do I do? I want to touch myself,
on,
but it
Benji,
seems
hold
really
on.
inappropriate. Mm. So have you had orgasm without being touched? Or do you know of anybody who's capable of that?
I do not. I did see a study once where they were
Mm-hmm.
studying people and they put them through the MRI to see what was happening with their brain, and they could make
Right.
themselves orgasm on command. And I thought,
Oh.
that's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's an interesting skill to have, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly
lucky
what's written
one.
on your resume or anything, you know,
For
and
real?
the special skills.
Oh, you need like a sash and a t-shirt and all kinds of things. My goodness.
I do. I need like a big crown. That's
Mhm.
an
Oh my
orgasm
gosh.
queen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the champion of the world. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, nobody cares about what my book is about now. That's done. I peaked. I'm out. Well,
I was
I
getting
guess
excited about the only one couch, but here we are. So, you know.
yeah, one couch. That should be another trope.
One couch.
Yeah, because it's so narrow, it forces you to spoon. So.
Mhm.
hmm So, anyways, this book, as far as I can tell, is about Eleanor, who is a widow, and she inherited a business from her husband, and she is a tough lady and sharp. And so she does, you know, business with dock workers and all that, and that probably explains why when she steps into the house, it begins with her finding a strange man on her couch with his, you know, legs spread out, and she says, "Who are you? And what are you doing here?" And he says, "Oh, is that a way to treat your husband?" You know.
What?
So it's because she married. So it's because her accountant was stealing money from her because she had no control over her estate, and so she marries through, you know, the Black Widow
Mhm.
arrangement, a duke who will stay away but give her the security of his name. And he promised not to interfere with her finances as long as she supports him financially. And then he comes back. He returns because he is looking for his brother, whom he was looking after overseas because he had drug addiction.
Mhm.
So he's back, but he doesn't tell her because he's afraid that it's going to create a scandal, and you know, I don't know, things like that. Back then, who knows? You sneeze wrong, and you could get, you
Create
know,
a
you could be
scandal.
ruined. So yeah, and I mean, nowadays, if I walked into, my house and found a strange man, it'd be, or, grab a knife, stab, stab,
Mhm.
stab. But, back then, I guess,
I'm guessing
oh,
she didn't grab the knife. So
no, she didn't grab the knife, but she did check out his thighs, and they were very nice thighs.
this is Dragonblade Flame Line. So just
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Are you guys, are you virgins? I didn't realize. Ooh. Yeah, sorry about that. So, but I
This
mean,
might be my favorite Unplugged of all time. So
You lost all
confession.
control level, and that's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it was handy back then because, you wear nice clothes, you speak like a gentleman, and, your intentions were good, and you were an angel, and you were not going to harm anybody. I mean, now you walk in and somebody is, robbing your place, but you're wearing Dolce & Gabbana. I don't know. Maybe I will say, oh, you don't need the money, so what are you here to steal? I don't know.
a
So it
nice
was
bag,
kind
but
of,
it's still going to be stab, stab, stab. I think.
For real.
yeah.
I mean, like, was there not a candlestick available? I mean, come on.
I'll be stealing his Dolce & Gabbana t-shirt and bag, and then stab, stab, stab.
Yeah, you don't put your blood on
So,
it. That would be like a waste.
so anywho, the lady, Eleanor, tries to get rid of him by making things uncomfortable, hence the pink shirt. I never know how much to give away or not
No,
give
we're
away
okay.
when
Keep
I
going.
talk because there's really no connection between my mouth and my brain. So
Just say
I have
stuff
no idea.
happened, and then
Yeah, this happened and that happens, and he ends up with a pink shirt and hence the cover. And and then over time, she kind of discovers what he's up to, and she goes back to, Bessie, and she's like, "How could you do this? I paid you a lot of money to keep him away, blah blah blah." And then, yeah, they end up having a common enemy, so though they have to work together to get rid of him. And then there are twists and things at the end, and there's a twist about the Black Widow as well. And good thing I don't remember the ending, otherwise I would
You can't give it
tell
away.
you the twist. But it ends with them being very happy.
Well, the couch would
Yeah.
suggest that. I mean,
Yeah, but it could also be a twist because she doesn't really need him then,
I was
does
gonna
she?
say she doesn't really need him, so
But
who cares?
how many of us really need men to
I
have
was thinking that
fun?
too, but I thought it was my menopausal brain showing, and so I didn't want to say it out loud. like really, like
No, nobody needs men now. But I mean, it's nice to have them. They're good for spooning, and back then
Spider killing.
men had more experience, so it's like, oh, he could draw you a diagram about where things are at, even though she didn't need it. Yeah, so
Oh my
that's
gosh.
about excuse me, that's about it. But Tanya, I noticed the delicious ass on your cover, and I want to know where he came from. Have you seen her cover?
it's
Like,
gorgeous.
I did
His-
see the ass.
his head doesn't show, but who needs that when you have that ass? It's like right in the center. It's really nice.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much for that. It will help
Thanks,
with my
Dragonblade.
dreams. Thanks, Dragonblade, for the delicious peach asses.
It's
I
always
was
fun for me because I take the images and turn them into ad graphics, and so I get to make them. I get to blow them up,
Oh,
and you see all kinds of
nice.
things that you don't notice. When they're thumbnail size when blowing them up.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Tanya.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I wanted to say I'm busy writing a bonus scene for my book, so maybe it should be an ass scene in some way or form, keeping true to the
Ooh.
cover.
Oh, so with a strap on, because we want to see his ass, not her ass, right? So
Oh my
it's
God.
like
I'm
BDSM.
gonna be Juliet and start
Dragonblade.
doing these.
Don't you?
Come on,
do you-
Evelyn, you can do this.
I mean, who doesn't love a good pegging scene? Lots of people don't love good pegging scenes. Mihwa, that's Lots of people do.
Yeah, especially in historical romance, I suppose.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know anything about kink and historical romance. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know, but I mean, I'm writing a series right now that has some pretty hot, weird stuff in it, and readers seem to really enjoy that. So,
I mean,
Oh, what's weird? Like, specify, please. Examples.
we
well,
went
it's
deep
Use
they're
your
not
hands.
Dragonblade books, so I don't want to talk about them, on
Okay.
on screen here.
Okay.
That's okay. We can
Maybe
go
if
look
you're
at-
lucky, I'll write another series. I don't know.
I'll
we
have to
can-
read it then.
Mm.
Yeah, but I mean, people were people then, so it makes sense that if we have
Yeah,
if we have
right. I
certain
mean,
kinks
people
now, we'd
do
have the
things.
kinks
People
then too.
enjoy things.
Mhm.
Don't talk about it if you don't want to talk about it. But it's still going to be done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and in an even
especially
more restrictive society, you would think it would be like that need for freedom or that need to not have to claim your own pleasure would be an even bigger deal.
yeah, especially then when there were so many tools around, just all over the kitchen and stuff. And now everything is modern technology. There's really nothing you can just grab spontaneously and start doing things to. I think that's how
Hey, I used
Vibrator
a carrot
was.
once in a book.
Yeah.
So,
Huh? You used to it?
I used a carrot in a book scene once.
Oh,
So,
yes,
you know,
yes. That makes a lot of sense. But I think I
just
read
saying,
that
improvise.
the massager doctors came up with for women back in the day came out of a kitchen, utensil or something. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
I could be making it up. Don't quote me, but that's what I seem to recall. But I really have terrible memories, but great imagination. And
Yeah.
I start believing in my own imagination and
Oh my
it becomes a
gosh.
problem. Yeah. Yeah. But do you write are you guys both writing under flame or no?
My books never end up in the flame line. I don't know why, but they just don't.
Mm.
I mean, they've
Oh,
got tons of sexy scenes in them, so I don't know.
Well, do
oh,
you can talk to your editor about it and see, Sandra, if that might be a better
'Cause
fit
that's
for
the
you.
reason why I wrote this particular series is because, it was going to be hotter than anything else I had at
Yeah.
Dragonblade, and it still didn't end up in the flame line. So I don't know.
So people are
Yeah.
in for a shock when they think
They might
it's gonna
be,
be closed door.
it's not a release day or release week if I don't get at least one reviewer saying, "Oh, there's too much sex in this book." I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, ladies.
And and
Do
Tanya,
they
do
autom-
you write?
do they automatically put you in the flame category, or
I don't
should
know.
you?
I asked for it.
I think it's organized at the time of your contract. I don't know because I don't come
Oh.
into the process until much later. The books are already announced, ready to announce on Publishers Marketplace by the time I even know they exist, and then I don't really get to know anything about them until they're ready to go up
I
on
know when
pre-order.
I pitched this series, I said it was going to be hot. There was going to be multiple scenes in these books. So when I got the contracts, it didn't say anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, let me check on it,
Yeah.
but I think you can always ask, and I think that the flame designation is, I think they do that when you're working on your contracts, because I know sometimes I include it in the Publishers Marketplace announcement. Which line it's in. The last book that came out this week is Vengeance Delayed, and that's Allison Chase's book, and that's a Dragonblade mystery book. So it's book 2 in Lady Mary Mysteries, and we're having lots more Moonrise, which are historical fantasy. So like all of that kind of stuff I include when I do the announcement. So I imagine it all has to be worked out before then.
Mhm.
I
But
don't
no,
know.
I don't
I
know.
just write my books, and they're just written, and then what comes.
So
Yeah.
No pun intended.
let's talk about that a little bit before we end up with peeled ginger and stuff. Because so both Sandra and Mihwa, you both talked about. I'm putting my hands under my legs. Good grief! You both talked about not remembering what your books are about. Can you? And we just talked a little bit about the process, about how it gets from idea to publish. Can you talk a little bit about your schedule? I know, Sandra, you have like a rock solid schedule that you set for the year. Can you talk
Yeah.
about far ahead you're writing the book before it actually
Uh,
hits the reader?
Well, that really depends on who I'm writing for and what series I'm writing. Like the book that I'm getting ready to finish up today or tomorrow, it actually comes out next month. That is
Oh,
not
that's fast.
normal.
Mhm.
That is because I got behind on my writing schedule because of depression, perimenopause, whatever. But Dragonblade books, I write 6 months ahead. Um, but that doesn't mean that the inception for those books, is a recent thing. I plan out my writing schedule like 2 years in advance. So, and then I outline all of my books. So at any given time, I've got like 3 different outlines open and one book that I'm currently writing because I don't like to write 2 books at the same time. That's not the
Okay.
kind of writer I am. But I do outline, multiple books at the same time. So by the time I actually sit down and write my books, I have a whole understanding of what the book is about, what's going on, because it's a detailed outline. I mean, they're like 15, 20, 25 pages long, single space, So if I have to walk away from the book and when I come back, I know exactly where I was in the
That's so
writing.
smart. That's so much better than like just
It
sitting
cuts
there.
down on
and listening to us.
rewrites, it cuts down on errors, it cuts down on everything. So you've
Yeah.
basically already written the book, you've already told yourself the story. So by the time you actually go in there to write it, you know what's going on. And
So how do
I
you
think
keep
that's
yourself
why I can
interested
write
while you're doing it?
faster, that way.
If you already know, because like I find for myself, sitting on my hands again, by the time I get to like 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, yeah, I know what happens, So like I kind of have to make myself stay in the chair and I have to make myself flesh things out, and it's much harder. That last little bit of the book is much harder because I already told myself the story. I'm done. I know where like I know how everything's going to work. The twists have come out and everything. So if you work everything ahead of time, how do you keep yourself like engaged when you're in the book?
It's just the job, man. You just write the book. I mean, it's not to say that your book isn't going to go off outline because that happens sometimes,
Yeah. Such a Nora Roberts answer.
I'm like, it's a job. What else? I mean, I like release a book a month, so it's a job.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
mean, it is true that by the time you get to this camera or by the time you get to release it, you're like, I don't know what the book is about. You wrote it, you got it edited, it's done. It's you've got the paperback wrap, it's done. That was done months ago. You've moved on with your life since then, But I don't know. It's just you have to keep yourself invested in your books as you go
Mhm.
along. Because if you're not excited about them, then the reader's not going to be excited about
Yeah.
them. So I mean, I sit down, I write my writing wad every day, and then after that I have free time. So that's the reward. The writing always comes first. I always say the writing comes first, and then the housework, and then errands or whatever. But if you don't get your writing done, you don't get to do anything else for the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, what about you? Do you outline ahead of time, or how far ahead do you write?
Yes, I outline, but I frequently change my outline, so I never stick to it. So it ends up being a lot of work. So I outline everything, and then as I'm writing, I'm thinking, no, something else, might be better. So I change the outline, and then I'll write more. And then halfway, through the book, I will say, oh, this is not working for me. Scrap the whole thing, start over. So my process is, yeah, it's lengthy, it's time consuming, but it's also fun. So,
Well, and that keeps
and
doing it.
yeah. So I take it, and sometimes if something doesn't feel right, I'll write different endings to see what
Mhm.
feels good. But for me, the most important process of editing is just leaving it for at least a week or a month,
Mhm.
and go back to it. Then I can, see it with fresh
So
eyes, and that
you're
seems to really help kind of pick out, is the tension enough? Is there nice flow? Is the sex satisfying, or things like that. But because I need time, I tend to write way ahead of time. And I usually have about 5 different books I'm working on at the same time, never in the same series, but whenever I get an idea, I'll just start writing it, and then I leave it when I run out of ideas. And that way, 9 months later, if somebody says, "Oh, we're doing an anthology about, middle-aged couple," then I can go back and look, and then it's already half written. So I find
Giving
that
yourself
to
a
work
present.
really well for me. Yeah. Or sometimes I've forgotten that I've written something. Um, and then I find it, and I get super excited.
Mhm.
So yeah, always five books on the go. And I listen to my books a lot. It's the best way to put me to sleep, personally, listening to my own books. So at night I'll have the earbud in, and I'll listen. But when I'm walking or doing anything, like, I do nothing but write or edit. So if I'm walking, I'll listen to it, and then you can bookmark, and I'll indicate, make notes about what to change
Yeah.
and things like that. And because I don't like tedious line by line edits, that works really well for me to listen to it. But I have insomnia because of menopause and all that, like you ladies said. So when I put my earbud in, I couldn't fall asleep before, but when I listen to my own books, I just get so bored. So I don't know. And I the next morning I can see that the book was finished, or it just went by itself while I slept. So yeah.
Interesting.
It's helpful that way. Yeah.
We lean into what works. Tanya, I saw you nodding along for part of that. Do you write that far ahead too?
No, I'm a hot mess. I don't schedule anything. I have papers everywhere. But I also work on multiple projects at a time. But every book is different. Some I'll partially outline, I mean, the book I just wrote, I didn't know how it was even ending. Even I didn't know up until the very end. I was like, what's happening over here? I don't know. And then the next book might be different. So yeah, I just kind of go with the flow. I'm probably like the organized person's worst nightmare.
You and Sandra can't be writing buddies.
No, definitely not.
No, I mean, I don't even know how authors outline, they all very, like they plot to the detail. That's just fascinating to me how you're able to do that.
It's because the brains work differently, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm not sure you have a lot of control over like changing that either. I think everybody's process is their process, and that part of the skill that comes with writing a long time is learning your
Yeah,
process
yeah.
really well.
I mean, it definitely is a skill. It's a muscle that you have to exercise all the time. And the longer you write, the better you get at it. So it comes like second nature. It just happens. Magic happens.
I love the magic, ladies.
But this is what happens when you try to fit a circle into a square. I'm not an organized I'm an organized person, but I've never been able to follow a schedule or outline. So this outlining thing is fairly new. And that's why I end up just trashing the entire outline, and then starting over and over and over, because it doesn't work that well for me. So Tanya, you're probably saving time by not outlining.
That's one way to look at it, right?
Just go with that. Just go with that. That's a win. Take the win. We always take the win.
I need you guys to go sit over there.
Yeah, back of the school bus with the bad kids, the smoking joints, spontaneously orgasming kid. Yeah.
I mean, I think that when you write for your career, when you're an author, if you're a career author, you need to have some handle and level of control over your output, how you get it done, how you're gonna treat it, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
just say, "Hey, it's Tuesday. I haven't written for 4 days. Let's get it done." You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way. I mean, I do try to take the weekends off so I can spend time with my husband, but yeah, it's a
job.
it is a job.
It's a wonderful, creative, lovely job, but it's still
That comes with a big bag of stress and anxiety because
imposter syndrome that never gets better. You know, imaginary people in your head and a browser history that will get the FBI interested.
like I'm so serious. They'll wake the characters will. There's some weird person in front of my house. Hang on.
Ooh,
I don't know who.
a duke. Does he have
Anyway.
nice thighs?
Characters will wake me up at night and they'll be like, "Hey man, I don't really like the way you're portraying me, so we're gonna need to fix that, ma'am." And I'm like, "I don't have time for that." And they're like, "Well, I'm gonna sit here until you fix it, so I don't know what to tell you. It's a very you problem right now." And and then, you know, you've got the muse on the other hand saying, "Hey, you know what? I know you're under this huge, tight deadline, but you know what would be fun is to write the
This
blurb
shiny ball.
or a book that's not going to come out for 8 months."
Yep. Yeah, that's when you
Yeah.
need writer friends who go, yes, that's a fantastic idea. I can see why you're excited about it. Go back to the book you need to finish. You
For
know?
real. I mean, it's like these constant conversations with people that nobody else can see but you know?
Absolutely.
And I mean, if we were living in the Regency era, we would all be categorized as crazy. We'd be
Yeah,
locked up in an attic
absolutely.
somewhere.
And I don't want to do that. I just read a what was it? I think it was Madeline Martin's Secret Book Society, where they were putting the women in the asylum for reading. I was like,
Mm.
I don't want to do no. This is not. I don't want to live there.
No, heaven forbid the women get smart because of reading.
No way.
Mhm.
Might
Yeah.
be dangerous.
Ladies, I have learned so much just in this brief short hour or half hour, and we could talk all day, but we have run ourselves over time. So I thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. It is absolutely the best escape when you need a way to get away from your own head for a while, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything you do. So.
Yeah. Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
This is all new socializing I'm gonna get this week, so thank you for that.
Oh, you messaged me. We talk about all kinds of stuff.
I'm going to
I
the
have to go
grocery
back
after
into
this,
my
so, you
hole.
know, hey.
Go into my little hole. Hair messed up.
Same
With
pants I was
vodka.
wearing yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, raise your hand if this is the first time you've actually gotten dressed in real clothes this week because you knew you had to be on camera.
Lipstick. First time I put on lipstick.
First time out of pajamas. First time without vodka.
Oh, oh my
I'm kidding.
goodness.
I'm kidding. I'm a gin girl. All
I'm a
right,
gin
thank
girl
you,
too. See,
Evelyn.
there's another reason for us to be friends.
So is Tanya. Yeah. We can be all
Tanya, are you a
buddies.
gin girl too? Oh man. See, I thought we were gonna have transporters by now, like Star
I
Trek.
know that would be so helpful, right?
Yes.
Back and forth. Yeah, we'd be able to zap back and forth to actually spend time with people we were interested in spending time with.
Or like you're on
Yeah.
vacation and like, oh man, I forgot to bring such and such. You know, you just go back and get it. You know, no
Yep.
big thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't it?
No bag check, no customs clearance. You know, whatever.
Limits of
Yeah, I
space and
find
time.
it hilarious. Yeah, I find that hilarious when I'm watching like 1990s sci-fi or something. It says year 2020, and they're living on spaceships and eating pills instead of food. They were so wrong.
And
So
you're like, let me tell you what really happened.
And
yeah,
it's not pretty.
not pretty at all.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Nice to
Thanks
meet
so
you,
much for
everyone.
taking the time.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.